Good morning. How we doing out there? Today is Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. I'm Anthony, and this is Drive Dive. So I think as a rundown of this episode, I wanted to try to maybe just provide a recap of my day yesterday. Maybe some additional insights on the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And we'll see what my final thoughts are by the time I get there. So, a quick recap of my day yesterday, which I think resonated with some folks. Again, trying to get some validation, how busy or productive am I versus another adult in the world. Myself as an adult, right, with a wife, 2 kids, a job, and some other obligations and personal interests, etc. Yesterday morning, I don't know, right? Recorded a video. I love starting out my day like that. Went to work. After work, I think I placed an order for Lowe's. I gotta get some blinds up in the house, so I placed an order for Lowe's. On the way home, then from work, I picked it up. I was gonna go into the store and look around at stuff, and I said, "What am I doing?" Right? Try to save some time. Place the order ahead. Go pick it up. And then when I get home, I picked up my son. Then got home. I had taken a desk apart a couple weekends ago, put it on Facebook Marketplace, and I had somebody reach out. They wanted to pick it up, so took that out of the garage, put it outside by my car. While my daughter and I then we blew bubbles outside. I thought the person picking up was going to be there much sooner, but wasn't. So we then went inside for dinner. Person did pick it up. My wife left for the gym, and then I took both of the kids to soccer. My son plays, so soccer practice from a couple hours, right? But while we're there, I'm just kind of running around with my daughter. She's super cute. It's fun, She's doing some weird stuff though, like pulling her pants down, which I don't know. She'd never done that before. So kind of comical, kind of cute, but also kind of not appropriate, and very unladylike. I'm like, for a little girl, right? This better be the only time you're doing this. But a lot of fun going back and forth. And then afterward, we get home. Our ritual, I guess, on the way home after late night soccer like that is to stop at Wendy's. So we do that. My kids then, are in the car with me, sharing everything in the back seat, making sure those French fries aren't too super hot for my daughter. We had a crying episode. She was in some pain one night. I guess they were like right out of the grease, Home for then showers and bed. It's like 9 o'clock or so by the time I'm in bed with my daughter. It's my turn with her, my wife's turn with our son. And I don't know, she fights it, man, but she wasn't I don't think I left her room until like 10 o'clock at night, where I'm then trying to sticking to my diet. I always eat that late at night, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock hour. So it was then that I was eating and finally had, I guess, some time to myself, maybe, right? I don't know, like 100% to myself, It's a struggle sometimes with kids, even just finding that minute or two to like just use the bathroom by yourself, right? Comment down below or, give a like if you can relate to that one. Sometimes you just want to lock the door so you can be, by yourself. I'm just going to say it, on the toilet, with your thoughts or a book or, whatever, right? Like just a couple of minutes, please. Give a like if you can relate to that one. But, so 10 o'clock by the time I'm finally, alone and able to, do I sand some of the spackle and do some more touch up after I eat, or while I eat? I decided I was going to play Disney Lorcana, right? Trading card game online. Try to work on my deck for that. So, it's just a hectic day, right? Trying to find that time to, make it fit, make it work, feel good, feel productive, spend the time with your loved ones, make some connections, and ultimately, just get something done, right? Again, it's like I could go off and be like, oh, you know what? I still didn't grade papers. I didn't write the review exercise that I need for my students to work on today and tomorrow for their quiz on Friday. Right, there are definitely things I didn't do that are now on my agenda for when I get to work. But ultimately I feel pretty good about it. I'm really excited about the deck I put together for Lorcana. Everything I described, spending the time with my daughter, Bubbles outside, then running around with her at soccer, back and forth. Yeah, we spent $1 on some chips, $2 on a pretzel, on a hot pretzel, and she threw a couple of our cups. She's got this thing going on where she likes this going to the garbage can while we're at the facility. And so, like, anything that we finish, if she can just pick it up and throw it out, she'll walk over to the garbage can and put it in. I'm trying to explain to her, like, no, this is a reusable coffee cup. Like, it does not go in the garbage. But she's a pretty forceful one. So it did end up in the garbage, and then I had to take it out of the garbage. And, she did the same thing with her cup. I thought she understood, but yeah, she did it again. It's just a game for her. So, we play peekaboo and some mirrors and stuff. So spend a lot of quality time with my daughter while, I guess also, right, in a way playing, spending quality time with my son, bringing him to soccer. I would have liked to have, gotten to watch him play a bit more closely, because we do then spend a lot of time talking about just things that occur during scrimmages and whatnot, and asking him about how he feels about his play and, what happened here, and, things of that nature, just, to make some more conversation, get him to reflect on his game and such. But overall, I feel pretty good about it. I think it was a good day. My wife and I are still, I think, struggling to connect, as I'm sure adults often do, right? But I'm not sure, right? So again, like the video, comment down below if you can relate, give me some validation as I'm trying to offer you the same. And then, so to get into what I've been reading, right, about how to win friends and influence people. Yesterday, I think I shared where it talks about the importance of smiling, right? And I think I'm trying to do that a bit more often, especially right these videos. I think I'm trying to smile when I greet my students as they enter the classroom. But I realized as I'm in class, trying to be like, all right, like, it's time to work on the do now, time to get out your homework, and blah blah blah. One of my kids was like, you sound like a drill sergeant. I'm like, yeah, I haven't quite figured out how to do those things, ask you to do those things, give you those directions, like, and smile, right? Sound happy about it. Is that what I think of and how I feel about my students? So it's just an interesting one. The other thought I had in regards to what I shared yesterday about happiness, right? This is from the book, talking about happiness not being dependent upon external factors, but rather internal ones. And they specifically said, the author Carnegie specifically says that it's not where you are, what you're doing, or who you're doing the things with that make you happy. Specifically says it's how you think about them. Right? So you have to think that these things are making us happy. We have to think that, right, that this is happiness. So we have to control our own thoughts. But then I'm reminded, and I was trying to say feel, right? In my mind, it's feel. It's not what you're doing, who you're doing it with, etc. The things that you have and such. It's how you feel about them. And I'm reminded, right, well, which comes first, thoughts or feelings? And I'm reminded of something that a woman by the name of Lori Desautel, I don't know if she is Dr. Desautel, she might be. When I worked in Randolph, she was a presenter in the district and came in to talk about social emotional learning and like regulation and right, self-regulation and things of that nature. And she said something to the effect, I remember tweeting it, that we are, as humans, we are not thinking creatures that feel, but rather feeling creatures that think. Right? So, I guess in her mind and mine, I suppose, it's our feelings that might come before our thoughts. I don't, or maybe they go hand in hand. So that's something to think about, right? I mean, I do, right? There is power in positive thinking, and we do need to control those voices in our heads where you make a mistake and you say, "Oh, I'm such an idiot," right? Like we have to stop doing those things, right? Not have those thoughts, not then have those words and actions, right? Where we're responding negatively to ourselves, heaven forbid to other people, right? Calling them idiots, or how could you be so stupid, or something to that nature, right? I would never say that to somebody else, but it's like I have no problem saying it to myself, right? So it's an interesting one, what comes first, the thoughts or the feelings? Was I feeling upset, and then I think to myself, right, I did something, now I feel pain, and now I'm thinking, oh, I'm experiencing this pain because, right? Or is it my thoughts, and my thoughts are more negative, that I don't know, right? So it's a conundrum, I think, which one comes first. But new insights, I guess, as I continued in the book, were to, I guess, just get to know people. It kind of connects to what the author Carnegie was saying about taking an interest in other people, but now more specifically saying to absolutely use their names when you greet them. And he specifically says first names, and shares an anecdote actually of, and this book was written decades ago, speaking about, I guess it was a person in one of his classes, sharing that in business, there was a gentleman with a full name, something like Nicodemus Papadoulis. I'm totally butchering it, I'm sure. But he said that for convenience, out of convenience, everyone would call this individual Nick. They just call him Nick. And of course, I'm reminded of students with the last name Papa, right? Maybe at some point Papadoulis just turned into Papa. I pure speculation, but and this person in the book shares that when he greeted this man using his full name, maybe it was Nicodemus Papadoulis, that individual was so stricken by that simple act of using his full proper name that he was drawn to tears. It had meant so much to him. So I'm reminded of a friend of mine from high school whose name was Inha, and he said, oh, but my American name is Alex. Sometimes people called him Alex, and I don't know, I said, I don't know, Inha. Inha's different. Like, I'm going to call you Inha, man. I don't know his thoughts on it, but I'm also reminded of, nowadays, right, just all the merging of cultures, and sometimes, yes, our struggles too, when it's not a name featured, I guess, within or prominent within our culture, our respective cultures, we might struggle to pronounce it. Or I'm thinking of pronouns, and on LinkedIn, I think you can even do like a voice recording of your name in case folks don't know how to pronounce it. So there is much, I think, being said and done about name pronunciation in present day, decades later. Which is just, it's interesting to me, that some of these teachings can really stand the test of time. I'm also reminded, right, as an educator, we do, I think, spend a lot of time at the beginning of the year going through rosters and making sure everyone in the room is on the roster, and there isn't anyone in the room who's not on the roster. But while going through that, yes, at times struggling to say names and apologizing in advance, and did I say that correctly? Do you have any nicknames? Like, even somebody simple like a Stephanie, right, or something to that effect. Like, is it always Stephanie, ever Steph, right? I'll ask a lot of those questions, try to get their take on their name. What do they want to be called? And it's interesting to me to circle back to the Nicodemus Papadoulis, right? I guess not everybody does this. Not everybody asks the person, or in the case of education, right, the child. Because I have a student by the name of Anastasia, and going through the roles, when I first met her, I said, I called her Anastasia, and she said, yeah, Anastasia, and that was it. I gave no thought to it. I know the name Anastasia, right? I believe it was even the title of an animated film years ago. I'm like, Anastasia, like I can say it, whatever. But when talking with other adults who have known this student longer, they keep referring to her as Stacy. And I think even told me she likes to be called Stacy or something to that effect. But so I don't know, I'm always thrown off when I'm calling her Anastasia and other adults refer to her as Stacy, or they'll call the classroom and is Stacy available or is she there? And I'm like, who's, oh, right. That's, yeah, okay, Anastasia? Yeah. So to the point where I stopped her just the other day and I said, so like, why does everybody else call you Stacy? Like, I thought you told me you like Anastasia. Like, what should I be calling you? You know, I double checked with her and she said, no, I like Anastasia. So it's interesting to me, you know, did she at one point like Stacy and then change her mind, and, you know, the other adults just haven't caught up, or did the other adults get it wrong and misinform me? You know, did they not reach out and have that same conversation with the child? So it's an interesting one to me, but yeah, I think it's, you know, we want to respect one another in that way and call one another by the name that, you know, we like to be called. You know, and I get that myself, right? With, you know, Anthony as a first name. The common question is like, always Anthony, ever Tony, you know, and honestly, like, a lot of people just call me Ant. And I think I've always liked Ant. Hey, Ant, what's going on, Ant? You know? A couple buddies, you know, now with kids, they're like, hey, Uncle Tony, you know, and so, all right, that's got a cool ring to it, you know, and that's certainly pretty common. Sounds better than Uncle Ant, you know, but even Uncle Anthony works too. So it's an interesting one to me. Names. So it's smiling, it's names, you know, in education, that's what I guess we're trained to do. You know, be in the hallway, greet kids when they come in the door, you know, smile, say hey, use their name. You know, and you see some of these videos out there where, you know, you get like custom handshakes, all this other stuff, you know, going on too as kids enter the classroom that are pretty cute. But so, yeah, I mean, I think that's essentially everything I wanted to get through. I'm going to start taking some notes, try to make some things more interesting for you. I think running through my day maybe resonated with some folks, you know, as I started to do that on Mondays. I think maybe some of those things have gotten some more views, but I'd love a little more guidance from you all. You know, just leave a comment down below. Thank you to, I think it was Matthew, who, nicest comment I've gotten so far, for sure, here on this, you know, YouTube venture, where he said, like, basically said, like, I wish we were friends, you know, and hey, man, you know, me too, right? I could definitely use that validation, use a few good friends in my life, and, you know, just somebody to chat with for sure. So I do appreciate that, and right back at you, man. Doesn't mean we can still interact here for sure. I got to check out your channel later, see if you got some content up there. Not everybody does, and that's cool too. But yeah, keep commenting. I like to keep the exchange going. You know, so yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Try to record every morning. I hope the reflections on the book too kind of help influence your thoughts and feelings on your levels of productivity, how you feel ultimately about your day, happy, productive, etc. And yeah, happy Wednesday. Catch you tomorrow morning. See ya.